Forever. Dog.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to Very That, starring moi, Raja, and my good friend Delta. Hi, Delta. Hola,
Hi.
tia. Ooh.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Ow.
Ay, wait.
Very that.
She's so bad.
Oh, honey.
But why is she so very that?
Very that.
What's shaking?
I don't know. You're looking cute though. That wig is looking really, really tight. For those of you who are just listening, if you're just listening, you won't even see how cute it is. But if you're watching,
Do you see this?
oh,
Do you see this? This is the ring of the day.
okay,
This is the earring.
okay, I like it. I'm into it.
You
And
look
then what?
beautiful.
Do I? You know what?
Yes,
Okay,
you do.
listen. I am on. This is my version of rebellion against drag right now.
Okay.
Like, you know me. If people are doing one thing, I'm gonna be the bitch that does the other thing. So you know what? I'm just like I'm all about minimalism when it comes to my makeup. Or is it just because I'm fucking lazy?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a way to be minimal and effective and minimal and sloppy. And I don't think you're doing sloppy.
Yeah.
So
I don't consider myself regressing, but I am reverting to like my early days of drag when in fact I don't really need to paint all the features in when the features are already there and just should be slightly enhanced. That's what I'm going for. Yes. So it's not minimal, it's just it's already there.
Okay.
You don't
I
see it?
that. Okay. Yeah.
You do?
I
Yeah.
hung out with Laganja the other day. We did a show together, a socially distanced show, and she came in
Where?
and she at the Executive Suite in Long Beach.
Okay.
And she came in and she had just a very sheer eye that was like lavender and yellow. And like, we just kind of kept like staring back and forth. And she's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Tell me about this like lemon and lavender eye." And she's like, "You know what, Mary, don't." She's like, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling ethereal. I'm feeling sheer. And like, of course, I mean, she looked gorgeous. There was no secret about that. But
Youth.
it was just
It's
so
the
funny
youth.
because she was trying to like, in her mind, she was like, "Look, I'm going to see you next week. I'll have on more makeup." I'm like, you can wear whatever you want. Like, but it was just so funny because, you know, you get in those moods where definitely, especially, you know, since we've been doing so much digital drag and you have the gift of a ring light, which forgives quite a bit.
Yes, the ring light. Thea, listen, the ring light is like saving my life. Like,
Yes.
it evens you out. It's the lighting that you could never get on stage if you were live in person.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I'm into it. But yes, so this is my moods right now. Is like everybody paints so damn hard, and you know what? There's room for that, and that is a trend. And
Sure.
and the kids love it. But like when you're gorgeous, and you just put on a little like kimchi. Allow me to just name drop kimchi chic.
Oh,
Eye chart or whatever the fuck it's called, like on my lids, and a little bit on the lips
Nice.
too. And I got some Hank and Henry. I just want to make sure that these people still keep sending me free stuff.
nice.
So
I'm actually wearing eyeliner and foundation, both from Daiso, and I'm very proud of that.
ooh, bitch, Daiso
It's my favorite store on the planet ever.
Oh my
ever.
god! Can you imagine like if we grew up with Daiso? We had Pick and Save, which
I
later
know.
became
and
Big Lots.
Big Lots is not Pick and Save. It's not the same thing.
No, it isn't. But and I love Daiso. I love shopping there. You can never really overspend there. It's like a Japanese 99-cent store, 99-cent only, right?
Yeah, well, and that's one of the secrets. I don't want to give away my secret, but I feel like I should because it will help me in the long run. People ask a lot of times how I wear my false nails, and most people will use super glue or nail glue, and some people use those two-sided tabs that are for like mailing or crafting, but I buy mine at Daiso in the little cosmetic section, and they're just on one little arm, and I go in and I will buy a fat ass like the whole thing. And I always think, I don't want to tell people because then they're going to buy them all. But in my mind, if I do tell people, they'll keep stocking them and I'll never run out.
But they fit your big old fingers?
What big thing? What are you talking about? Big fingers? Look how thin my fingers are. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. You know what? This morning I was thinking about this, and actually not just this morning, but a few times. Every time I have to get in drag while we're in this like quarantine moment, I think of this song that you used to always perform when we were at Rage that I loved. Did I shave my legs for this?
Did I shave my legs for this?
Yes.
Who is that by?
That's it's a country singer named Dina Carter, and her biggest hit was Strawberry Wine. But Did I Shave My Legs for This? The live version is the one.
Strawberry wine. Strawberry wine itself sounds disgusting, but
No, you're a wine connoisseur. I thought you liked all kinds of wine.
I know. I only drink grape wine, not strawberry wine.
Oh,
yeah, I'm like that.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I always think about that song. Did I shave my legs for this? Because it's like it's so hard to get into the drags in this time, in this day and age. Anyway.
Well, I was just thinking as I'm sitting here, like obviously I have on like cargo shorts and a pair of Toms, but I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what if there was like an emergency and people can't see, but like in front of me, in order to have everything set up the way I want it, I have an ironing board. And that's my table, so I can adjust the height, and I don't have to buy another table. So, but I just thought, what if there was an emergency and I like ran off? Well, me run, but I trotted off, and people were just like, "Fuck!" Like what? How? What? So day and night, bitch. What's going on above? We see what's going on above the ring light, but fucking below. Wow.
I haven't even thought about an ironing table. They are very convenient because they go very wide and they're very sort of like So
and
ironing
it just goes
table.
Put away. No one will see it.
Well, here we are. This is the second episode, and at some point, I hope that we lose count.
Yeah,
I hope that we get to do as many of these as possible, but we are on our second episode of our podcast together as Rukas. And I feel better now. I feel better about it. Last week, it was a little bit like we were figuring it out. There was tech issues.
It's fucking on. What
are you talking about? There was like a moment when I was doing Toot and Boot a few weeks ago. I mean, literally, we've been doing this for 6 months, you know. And there was that moment when I was doing Toot and Boot. I don't know how long ago when I actually broke down and cried and like cried just because I couldn't handle it, sis. It was hard for me because like I didn't have the right cord, I didn't have the right headphones, I didn't have the light wasn't on and the angle and the blah 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 blah. Fuck off, and I just broke down into tears. But thank God for our wonderful producers that keep us from breakdown and crying and having nervous breakdowns. So I texted you like 2 days ago, Delta, and I was like, girl, have you seen The Social Dilemma? Did you watch it?
Right. No, I've been too busy watching Ghost Hunters new season and also Dead Files. So I have not seen it. So I apologize. I don't apologize. Outwardly, I apologize, but I don't feel bad. But maybe I should see it. Tell me about it. I want to hear.
You're fine. I mean, like I can give you a quick like breakdown of what it's about. But it basically is this film on Netflix that has been very, very popular. It's on their like top 10 trending. It's quite refreshing, I think, because like for a second we were all into like the Tiger King. And by the way, why is that lady on Dancing with the Stars? Didn't she kill her husband?
Well, I mean, you can ask this question about why a lot of people are brought back to be on TV shows. It's like, it's like, is there anything left at some point? You know what I mean?
That is the truth. But anyway,
anything.
So anyway, this film is a documentary, which I am actually obsessed with. I watch so many fucking documentaries. Like, I am not a Game of Thrones binge watcher. Like, I don't want to binge watch anything. I would like to watch a documentary that educates me in one way or another. So anyway, this film does that. And it's a film that describes how social media And the internet, quote unquote, is basically like we think we're in full control of it, but they're actually in control of us. And it is told in the viewpoint of the people who invented basically what we know today as social media.
Wow.
One of the guys that's on there was the guy who created the fucking like button.
Wow.
Like, think about it that way, So these are people who were like at the beginning stages of the internet, and they're basically telling you that no one has control of it and that you are being manipulated on every level by social media. Okay. Now, I know that we are very involved in it, but my curiosity is on your take on social media, because you are literally the only person I know that quit Facebook and is fine with it. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no secret, a Google search will pull up articles about, what my departure from Facebook, not because I was so popular, but because it was about drag, essentially. And I think what happens is we present something, and then because the only way you can really put emphasis on what you're doing or what you're saying is to throw in emojis. So people will throw in emojis, and that is supposed to be your way of going, I'm just kidding, or I'm very serious about this. And without those emojis, you don't really have any other way to determine context. So things will happen personally or professionally, and you'll share that information. And then, and it does still happen on Instagram. But when I was on Facebook, things were happening for me professionally where people that were not directly related would jump in and go, well, I heard this. And, well, I saw you with this person, so this means this. Or I thought you were friends with this person. Why is this happening? So with that information, it just starts to snowball. And people start to go, well, I don't know, because 7 days ago, you sure were at this place. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe I was at that place. It doesn't mean that place has anything to do with those people. It could have been about this, that. So it creates this snowball, and people decide who you are, what you meant, how you meant it, who you're fighting with, who you're not fighting with. It's that whole thing about, you say, oh gosh, I love oranges. And people jump on, oh, so you can't stand bananas is what you're saying. No. I'm just saying, like, right now I'm having this really great dish with oranges. And so it got to the point where, because we, especially people from Drag Race, and then of course Dragula, and all the different sort of houses of drag, wherever you're from, people have fan bases or supporters or enthusiasts who then like to argue with the other factions. And you just become collateral damage in it. And I was like, I can't do this on Facebook anymore. I just wanted to use, and I got rid of Twitter as well at the same time, actually. And I did have a Twitter account.
Me too. So, I haven't used Twitter in a long time. And I think in fact, like the only thing that appears on my Twitter is anything that's connected to my Instagram, or it's just things that I put on like 8 years ago that, it just tells my horoscope like automatically. So, and
that's what happens. People, they think that, you're fighting with this person, or you can't, or you're backtracking on something, or you're vague booking, or you're doing all those things. And it just becomes such it even happens now. Just like 2 weeks ago, I had to reset my settings on Instagram to people 18 and over, because not saying that everyone under 18 was negative. It's a thing. Yeah, you can actually set it to 18 or even 21, or just set it to entirely private. But, when I was going live on Instagram, I was getting a lot of people that were coming in and really saying incredibly racist, incredibly horrible things just to be recognized, because a lot of these people, negative attention is still attention, and they're someone's not giving them what they need, and so they'll seek it out however they can get it.
Yes. One of the things that they talk about in this film is how the social media industry, things like Facebook and Instagram, and because they're all somehow related, there's an addiction to it. And we are now suddenly, here I am in 2020 at 46 years old. I'm addicted to my handheld device that, and my phone tells me how many hours I'm on weekly, like daily, and how many times during the week. And regularly my phone fucking tells me that I'm on it for almost 12 hours a day.
Sure. Sure.
And I, you know, even when I worked full time fucking slinging lipsticks at MAC Cosmetics 10 years, 15 years ago, you know, I that's more than a work day. And it
Sure.
talks about how it perpetuates addiction and how we cannot take ourselves off of these machines, you know?
Mhm.
And I, like, recently, as of like the last, you know, few days in our conversations over text, I've actually gotten rid of my Facebook app. I took it off of my phone.
Okay.
And that's my own experiment.
Sure,
know,
sure.
I have to try it. I have to try to wean myself off just the way I weaned myself off of Twitter years ago. But I find that we're not really finding those connections anymore because we spend so much fucking time on the phone. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
and it's just getting, I mean, it's almost become a requirement now with the pandemic and with social distancing.
Mhm.
It's like, it is not only is it a form of promotion for shopping, for
shopping, girl.
connecting to one another, for validation in many ways. I mean, listen, you know, I always think to myself, I see people that professionally know how to be an influencer, and I watch what they do, and I know that at certain times they drop a picture, or certain, you know, they know when they're going to get their traffic, and it's important, I think, for people who do have a sort of a platform to use it for advertising or telling people their political stance or whatever. But at the same time, that addiction there is very true, because you can validate it by saying, oh, well, I have to be on here for work.
That's what I do. But honestly, it's like,
Right.
I'm on it way too much. I'm not even working that much. I'm like, really? I'm working? No,
Right.
I'm not. I'm just sitting there like fucking looking at hot ass, thoughty, fucking thirsty boys. You know, I don't know. I just do stupid things, you know?
Well, you know, I'm just as guilty of all of it. I mean, I'll and it's not saying you can't share things that are interesting to you, like, oh, this quote makes me feel great. Of course, that's a great thing to do. But it's when people become authorities about everything, and you're like, you're not an authority on everything. And, you know, on the flip side of this, or not really the flip side, but just another example, you and I will be texting one another in a conversation through our iPhones, but we are also having a conversation simultaneously on Instagram.
We do that.
We do that. We
do
are
that.
really do that.
We do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I know that
We're all
like,
guilty
We are all guilty
of
It is-
something.
that film, I really, really suggest you watch it. I think it's
I'm
one of
going
those.
to.
I know you have your own you know, things that you like to watch, but I think just like take a moment and watch it, just because it really provides a window and a clear vision of what the intentions of the internet are, and how it completely influences us in
Right.
propaganda, in product, in things. And it's just that, you know, we're so inundated by it. And I would like, I need some time off from it, you know, to
Yeah.
just kind of, or just break away from it just slightly. But now, since I've gotten rid of my Facebook, I find that I'm spending twice as much time on Instagram. So what the fuck? Who cares? Let me
You're
just
gonna
get
be
it back.
somewhere.
Oh my God. It's either that or porn, or I don't know.
All of
Yo, you know, when your phone tells you like which sites you go up to, like which ones you look at the most? Do you have that on your phone?
I'm sure I do, but I don't think I've ever really looked at it.
Mine is OnlyFans and Pornhub. So that's how gross I am. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, with that said, why don't we take a quick little break, and then we'll come back to this, and we'll talk some more.
Yes.
Be right back. Be right back. And we're back. You are joining us right now on Very That,
Very.
starring Delta Work and Raja. Very That. Oh, honey, it's Very That. It's Very That. That's how you pronounce it, actually. It's pronounced Very That. Harry That.
Barry.
Harry Berry. Anyway, we're back, and you know, we want to encourage all of our listeners and viewers to send in some questions that you have for us. If you have any, if you're curious, or you have comments or questions or anything that you would like to send to us, by all means, definitely let us know. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to answer your questions, and we definitely want to Engage. Yes.
Well, we have an email here that I'm going to read.
Uh-oh.
And yeah. Hi, Queens. So excited that you decided to do a podcast. I'm subscribed and I can't wait to listen each week. I'm a longtime fan of both of yours and would love to know your take on the mainstreaming and PC-ness of drag. When I was younger, it felt like drag was dangerous and counterculture and could make people feel uncomfortable with social commentary. But now it feels like it's more about celebrity, makeup tutorials, and brand partnerships. I know this is a bigger conversation, and ultimately it's a good thing that more queens are visible, accepted in the mainstream and making money, but I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on this? Love you, mean it, longtime drag fan. What are your thoughts, Russia?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, it's loads, and we take your loads, honey. Bring those loads in.
Fucking loads.
Baby. And, that is loaded. It's a very interesting one and it's one that kind of relates to, I think, what we were talking about earlier. I just think that I think there's so much access to what queens are doing, and I long and miss the days when there was not a fucking camera around, but a disposable. And if you didn't have it, the moment was not caught. It didn't need a video. It didn't. I'm glad, because I did some pretty fucking crazy and things that I just am glad never were caught on camera.
Right. Yeah, I definitely see this, and especially this year of my life, I've come to realize that there's so much that we all individually definitely have to be accountable for, and definitely have to understand time and place, and what is your fight, and what is your place to speak on something, and what is not your place.
I mean, turn up the volume on that. I need people to really listen to what you just said, because there's context.
There is context, and there's also, I think we're going to go into this. I think we're going to go into this a lot in our podcast, a lot about what we used to do, what we do now, and somewhere in between that, where we strike a balance. Because, I like to see life as, this kind of black and white, this way or that way, right and wrong. But there's definitely so many shades of gray when it comes to this. I do feel like, drag is, and I think, Drag Race has been a vehicle for promoting and giving people a platform and a place to speak on things that bother them, or social injustices, or great things too. But I think, regardless of how many quote followers we have, we all do have that platform, and we have that a bit of responsibility to the people that support us and follow us to make our voices heard and let people know. And not everybody wants to do that, but this year with the pandemic, with Black Lives Matter movement, with everything that's been going on with so many trans people especially in news now. Not saying that this is the only year trans people have been murdered, especially trans people of color, but it's been more covered, I think, now. And because of that, people want to hear what their queer leaders have to say, make a statement. And this year, some of our icons have been silent on social media. And when it comes to things like the Black Lives Movement specifically, I don't believe, as a non-Black person, it's my place to call into question any Black person's position, because existence is resistance. So it's not my position to tell someone of color, hey, this is what you need to be doing or saying. But as a queer person, it is my responsibility to call into question other queer leaders and what they've done, what they plan to do with their platform, and how, especially if there's an expectation for us to do it, other people in our position should be doing the same.
I mean, yes, I agree with you 1000%. There are times when a person, I suppose I am a queer leader. I am a queer leader. No, I don't suppose. I am a queer leader.
You're a queer bait.
Oh my God, let's stop it. But really, sometimes there are moments where I just, I'm not quick to trend on things.
Sure.
Like, I really, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, it's like most times I just really need to listen.
Absolutely.
Like and I am a person of color, but I certainly have not lived the Black experience
at all.
So But there's a part of me that really, really just wants to listen to the conversations. And like I was saying, I got rid of Facebook because I'm just sick of like stupid ass people like putting up all these articles. I actually follow some really, I follow Sean King, and there's this guy that I love, Conscious Lee. There's so many people on Instagram that are actually saying the things that I really, really, really super need to hear right now. But anyway, have we gone on a tangent a little bit on this?
Listen, I mean, I think what we're both saying is 100% true. Our job is to listen to other people's stories and utilize our space for other people to hear those stories.
Right.
And it's not just to put up a black box, or it's not just to do what's visible. I mean, everything, what you're doing, you have to take to the polls. What you're doing, you have to take into the way you treat people on a daily basis. And I think some people, we've seen, especially this year, with so many things happening, we've seen people get called out for doing that sort of like lip service of being caught taking pictures at protests just to have the picture to post. And it's like, that's doing such a disservice. It really is.
Yeah.
If you have questions about something like that, or just something off the top of your head that you think is maybe something that would be interesting to us, that we would want to share with you, totally write in. Send us an email. We would love to hear that.
I have a question for you. Have you ever sucked a dick for money outside of the Yukon in the parking lot of Trader Joe's?
I fucking can't stand you.
That's my personal question to you. Because
that's your personal question for me.
I think I actually have.
No, I know that you have. And I know that you know the secrets in my spires. I know that you know the echo that is love. And I know that you are just asking me these questions because you want me to share the really juicy bits. And this segment is only 15 minutes long, and I just couldn't possibly. So maybe I'll have to write in a letter myself.
Recently I watched our season of Drag Race, and
sorry.
It was, oh my God, cringy to say the least.
But wasn't it different then? It seemed a little more authentic. Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like so different.
It was such a different time. And one of the things that I really loved on watching that episode, there was this thing where you're being interviewed and you're like, you know what? Raja and I are so close. I know exactly how many Armenian cab drivers.
I do.
She's fucked.
I do.
And that warms my cockles. It warms my heart.
It warms my cock too. Like yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, the story.
We should talk about your prosciutto ham recipes and all that stuff soon too.
That is so crazy you said that, because me and Phil, Philip, well, nobody, Philip and I were talking about the other day about how many things I've shoved up my ass and have eaten out of it, including prosciutto.
Yeah, including, absolutely.
Including.
But not limited to.
But never limited to. Anyway, so yeah. You guys send in your questions, your inquiries, your comments. We might not get to all of them, but we're going to definitely, we want to talk. We want to know what you want to know.
Yeah.
So, I want to know, Dalta, are you wearing cargo shorts right now?
I am wearing gray cargo shorts. My favorite color is gray. I don't know if you know this, but my favorite color is gray.
I did not know that.
And my favorite accent color is orange. But so if it was like a bright thing, what would your bright color be? That? But gray, I have everything I have is gray. I love to wear black too, of course, but gray is always my go-to, especially like a charcoal gray.
It's a neutral.
I love it. Yeah,
it
but
really
I like
is a neutral.
do you agree that animal print is a neutral as well?
Of course. Who doesn't? I mean, like, everyone must wear animal print. Isn't that an Alaska song?
Of course.
My other question is, before we go, did you shower today?
I did shower today. And you know what? I'm going to shower a second time because I have to do an in-person appearance tonight in Long Beach. And I'm going to have to take this makeup off and have a little bit more makeup on for the show. So I'm going to have to shave again because, my beard grows in extremely fast.
Really?
Fast.
Do you have a hairy chest?
It's just concentrated in the middle, like here. But it does. It grows in pretty thick.
Let it grow out.
A lot of people think I'm Tom Selleck. A lot of people think I look like Tom Selleck. So. You see it. You see it. You see it.
I see it. No, I don't see it. But
Yeah, you do.
With
It's
that-
because I wear corduroy shorts sometimes too. Okay, well, don't be jealous. So
you're gross. Okay, with that said, you guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with Very Thoughts.
very that.
Yes.
Wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah. Slay. Slay.
Do you slay all day?
I slay all day in every way. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
In every way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, mother. Miss Ma. Mama.
Mama.
Are you mom, mama, or mother?
I think I'm mom, but like seriously, I don't think I'm anybody's. Like I have my drag children, but I'm actually more auntie. Like
Oh, okay.
some of the young kids now call me auntie, which I actually really like. I prefer that than mom because I don't want to be responsible. Like don't call me your mom. Like your
Right.
mom, yeah.
I'm
your
Nina.
auntie. Nina, tia.
I'm Nina.
Tia Kuka.
That's who I am. But everyone already knows that. Everyone always tells me, like, when I'm in drag, like, no one ever comes up and is like, oh my God, you're the sexiest or you're the most beautiful. They always go, you totally remind me of my aunt or my mom, which I take as a huge compliment, by the way, a massive compliment, because that gives them comfort in some way.
But I need to meet their aunt. Like they better be like you. They
I
better.
hope so.
They better. They better.
they are.
They better smell like you. That perfume better be that. It better be.
Speaking of that, I need to put something on.
What perfume are you wearing today?
Well, right now I'm wearing cashmere.
That's that's one of my mom's favorites.
I believe
Cashmere.
it. You think
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
these things? I know these things.
Cashmere.
Cashmere.
Who's that by again?
This is Kashmir is by, who is this by? Chopard. You know, I have a story about this that we can share in a photo another time, but I first got my first bottle of this from Janice Dickinson.
Gallete. No, stop it.
You would have got it too if you had shown up for the gig that day.
I didn't. Yeah.
You didn't. That's why I got the gig, because you wouldn't show up. But I'll share that story.
I wonder what Janice is up to. Yeah.
I don't,
Janice-
you know, I'm obsessed with her. I love her so much.
Oh my God, Janice Dickinson. I do miss her. I remember there was one time when I went to when I used to go dance at Foo Bar. Definitely I was gonna say a low point in my life, but no, it wasn't. But I used to go dance there, and Janice Dickinson showed up, and at the time I was still working on Top Model, and she showed up, and I remember we both got really, really fucked up and did some things in the little bathroom on the side, and I was go-go dancing on the stage, and Janice Dickinson fully licked from chin to the top of my giant forehead, licked my face off because she was feeling it.
She was feeling it that way.
She felt it, and she felt it with her tongue on my face. She got a mouthful of NW45 Studio Fix
Wow.
in her mouth.
Well,
Yeah.
that she's you know what, she lives lives life and loves life, and she really does love people. I mean, you know, I have so much to share about that photo shoot. We can share that, I think, another time, because there's tons of photos in it. And it actually, the only reason I got to do it, and you remember this, is because you were going out of town, I think, for Top Model or something. And so you were like, have Delta do it, because they wanted, you know, in their minds, if Raja's not going to do it, let's do polar opposites of what the image was going to be. And so it worked out perfectly. But yeah, Chopard, Janice Dickinson gave me my first bottle of that.
Oh, Chopard, Cashmere. If you can't actually afford a Chopard diamond, then you might as well go to duty free and get that perfume.
Absolutely.
The same with Thierry Mugler and Gaultier. Yeah, if you can't afford the actual couture, like I cannot, then get the parfum.
And if you can't afford the parfum, you can just follow me, and I'll tell you where to get them at the 99-cent stores all over Southern California, because I love to find designer imposters that don't really last that long, but I still think they're fun to have.
But 99 cent only.
99 only.
99 only. There's a difference.
99 only.
Okay, so speaking of pictures, it is time for You See Something.
Find something, see something.
You find something, you see something.
You see something, because I see something.
I see something with my very eye thing. No, I see this picture in front of us.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, yeah. And for those who are visually impaired, who are only listening to us and can't see this picture, this is a photo of Chad Michaels, Dolly Levi, Delta Work, and myself.
Yes.
But down the line, we have Chad Michaels as Batgirl, Dolly Levi as Supergirl, Delta Work as She-Ra, and Raja as Wonder Woman. Tell me about this picture, Delta.
So, well, and this is interesting that we would go right into this because we do have we talked about Rage or the closing of Rage, but a lot of our really good memories of theme nights come from bars on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Oh,
Rage, Mickey's, Peanuts, basically all of the bars, and down even further as you get towards the freeway, we work those bars too.
Hey.
But this picture is, again, another Dreamgirls theme night. You guys will know Chad Michaels as the winner of All Stars. So many of our cast, by the way, from Dreamgirls. Like, there's enough Dreamgirls of Southern California cast members that have been on Drag Race that you could actually do a full All-Star season with just Dreamgirls cast members. Listen,
I think that's a great idea.
It is a great idea because the Dreamgirls are versed in not just female impersonation, but we also do what would typically be called a male character. We do those. We do celebrities. We do themes. We do gowns. We do all those things. So you're talking Chad Michaels, Raja, Venus Delight, Jasmine Masters, Morgan, Sonique, Chanel, myself.
God.
Who else is in there? I know I'm missing people. And
did you say Detox? Did you
Detox.
Say,
and then of course from Dragula, the winner of Dragula, Landon Cider. You know, there's so many entertainers from Dreamgirls, but this is what we did at Dreamgirls. This is what we were known for, is theme nights. This was a superhero theme night, and everyone always brought their own flavor. Some were severe cosplayers. Chad's really well versed in cosplay, and he
would not. He's such a cosplayer that I don't think you're supposed to pronounce it that way. I think you're supposed to say cosplayer or some shit like that. I saw a video where he said that.
I'm into couscous play.
Me too.
But so Chad, loves that. Dolly loves that. Dolly Levi, if you guys don't know who Dolly Levi is, she's a legend in Southern California, entertaining for probably 40 plus years in drag. Is in her early 60s and dances circles around everyone I know. Dolly is here as Supergirl. I'm doing my She-Ra because I love 80s cartoons. Raja was doing Wonder Woman here in this picture, and we would just have so much fun. And at Dreamgirls, we used to do, it wasn't, the show, there was enough cast members and there was enough of a pace and a break in between where we would do all of our makeup changes too. That would go into stuff. So this is just such a fun picture because we used to have the space and the time and people that would actually come to see this type of show. They knew it was a theme night. They would wear their own superhero, either costume, or they would wear like a Batman shirt, however they wanted to celebrate it.
According to theme.
Yeah, and we would do mixes. We still do that. I still do tons of my.
Well,
it
was like pre what we would call now meet and greet. We would have like a social hour before the show,
right?
Where we would have wine and cheese, and it was like a thing, and people would show up. And I think for me personally, I think that Dreamgirls really gave me a sense of discipline. Although I did do a ton of cocaine in the bathroom,
of course,
during break, because there was always an intermission. But what I did learn, like watching Chad Michaels, when he invited me to be part of the Dreamgirls, it felt like such a privilege. And in fact, in some ways, I feel like being invited to be part of the Dreamgirls was even, or as big a deal as being on Drag Race for me.
Yes.
As far as monumental moments in my life and being validated. And I remember when Chad asked me to be on the Dreamgirls, and I knew that you had to be on your fucking toes. Whatever you did, whatever your vision, whatever your point of view in drag was, do it all the way, be there on time, and don't be that girl that borrows everything from everybody like me.
Oh, you know how I am.
I know
now.
you guys used to talk about me because I would borrow the bobby pin. I'd be like, Delta, can I use your Aquanet? Mija, I forgot my powder at home. I know it's lighter than me, but it was always that. I was a girl that borrowed, but I definitely learned some discipline.
But you know, and that I'm so glad you say that, because really that's my training ground, was not just Chad, but Chad's drag mother, Kiwi, Fontasia, Marilyn before, LaDonna, all these people that really taught me how to be. And this is not to say you can't go to a show and go, oh, I forgot this or that, but really taught you to go, today I'm having a show. I need to get myself together for my show.
Go to work.
For some people, it's not that serious, and that's fine too. But for everybody at Dreamgirls, it really was. It was that way. Like, and again, of course, you're going to need help zipped up, or hey, can you help me put this collar on, or this or that. But having to know, like, not just know your audience, but know, all right, what I would take that into, and even now as I travel after Drag Race, when I go places, I think, all right, anticipate and overcome. What if I get there and this happens? Then I have this to do. Like, I really am that way, because you know how I am anyway. You know I'm nuts. Like, you know that I'm very, like, if it just doesn't, like, if I think that there's going to be something wrong, I will just completely shut down and completely withdraw from the situation. And it's like, and some people go, oh, and I'm not saying giving up, but you know, I will totally, like, go, this is not for me. And people go, oh, but you're going to make this money. And I'm like, I can't. I'm cool. And we've been in situations where I've done it, and it's and other people have been to the detriment of a whole project.
Well, you know, I always find it amusing when you you know, we're kind of both notorious for throwing our own versions of tantrums.
Of course.
So mine tend to be a little bit more dramatic with things being thrown against the wall, but you have your way of throwing your own tantrum.
Right.
But you know what? Being part of the Dreamgirls always has been a learning experience for me as a performer. I remember watching Chad Michaels for the first time in my life, ever seeing someone dress themselves on their own towel. Like, their tights would not touch the fucking floor.
Absolutely.
And Chad was that first person that I ever saw do that. Like, absolutely. Oh no, bitch, I'm here. I'm serious about this. And when we were not serious about it, we were reprimanded for it. And I think that sense of discipline is very, very important. And I think it's something that could be missing from a lot of today's drag.
Do you remember that Hunter used to do bag checks? And it was like, do you have, because we would do production numbers, obviously. And you'd have to have your clear pumps, a pair of black boots, a pair of nude pumps, and a pair of black pumps.
Absolutely. And I still stick to it.
Yeah. And he would come by and be like, do you have black boots? And I'm like, oh, well, we're not doing a black boot production tonight. Well, how do you know we didn't change it?
It was a kit.
I still have a spindle. I still have a spindle of CDs here that are Dreamgirl production numbers. That's like Dreamgirl Productions 2004. Like,
every man to his own individual taste. We say, but we don't want to stand and
we
waste.
had fun.
Oh
God,
my
we
God.
had fun.
I miss, when I lived in New York City, I missed the most being on stage and being with my sisters from the Dreamgirls Review very, very much. And that was way back in like 2007. Yeah. So till today, it still warms my cockles. Anyway,
we have tons of these pictures. I mean,
I just want to talk about this particular picture really, really quickly. Now, I got to tell you a really fun fact about those blue sequin shorts that I'm wearing in that picture. This is how long ago it was. Those blue sequin shorts belong to RuPaul.
Oh, okay.
Remember when Ru used to give me roomie downs?
Yeah, I remember roomie downs.
Yeah, there was a few of us who she kind of like figured, like there was a few of us in the drag community at that time when Ru was living here. And she gave away like basically her roomie downs, like all of her garbage, like everything that she was like over with. She gave us in multiple trash bags. She gave some to Jasmine, who's an icon here in LA. Absolutely. And Kiwi also, who's dearly departed, and rest in peace to her. I was one of them, and I believe there was like two other girls that got trash bags full of RuPaul's stuff. And
I remember the Kiwi used to wear the little drummer boy dress. Also the A Little Bit of Love jumpsuits that Candace and Jasmine wore in the video are still in circulation. Those ones that have like the dog tags.
I had one. She gave me one of those, but I soon outgrew it and I gave it to Venus Delight.
Venus has worn it. Yep.
I think she either had Candace Cain's or Jasmine's. And because
Yep.
it just didn't fit me anymore, and I just didn't see myself in bodysuits. But those blue sequin shorts, once upon a time, belonged
That's
to
amazing.
RuPaul. Yes.
I love that.
All right. Little fun facts here.
that.
On there. It's very that. It's very
that.
It's very that.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Very That with Delta and Raja. Our episodes come out every Monday, so we want you to subscribe because we don't want you to miss a single episode.
Yes, you guys, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinions slightly. Not too many opinions, but, Delta. Opinions? I don't know.
No, I don't want to hear anyone's opinion about my own.
If you have any questions, any inquiries, any curiosities, comments, whatever you have to say, please do send it to deltaandraja@gmail.com. We will take all of your questions and we will bring it up on our next episode of Very That. We are so ecstatic. We love that you're here. Please tell your friends, listen to us, watch us. Make sure to join us on Very That every Monday.
I love it.
You got anything else to say, Delta?
No, send these messages because we truly do want to engage with people. And we are both going to be able to see these emails. So, you can send whatever you like.
Nudes. Send
Ah.
nudes. Mwah. Nya, nya, nya. Nya, nya. Nya, nya. Woo, 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 woo. Nya, nya. Dee-dee.
Voila.
Whoa.
Forever Dog.
Very That is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media, aka Mom.
Hosted by Delta Work and Raja.
Music, sound design, and editing by Will Pitts.
Produced by Big Dipper.
Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey.